Greetings, wanderers. Today's topic is: what are some mysterious, cult-like, bad vibes towns across the USA? It would be interesting if the guy/gal driving the Google Maps car through all these places could chime in with experiences. Driver of a mapping vehicle here. Most of the truly creepy small towns are down dirt/gravel roads, which typically aren't mapped. I've worked every state except Hawaii and almost every Canadian province, and the only places that I've gotten the "maybe I should get back in my car now" vibe from are a handful of small towns in Kansas. You could just feel the eyes the second your feet hit the ground, and not in the typically way you get used to being stared at in those vehicles. It was a palpable aura of unwelcome. Hilldale, Utah is where the FLDS is based. They're a polygamist offshoot of the Mormon Church. Their leader is currently spending a life sentence for rape. The Netflix documentary Keep Sweet and Obey covers the sect and their crimes. My Bill was one of the lost boys that were kicked out so the older men didn't have as much competition. He grew up close to Warren Jeffs and actually called him Uncle Jeff. All of his family were polygamists. After Warren Jeffs was arrested, the community offered the lost boys and previous residents the chance to buy a house for cheap because they had many vacant homes and they were all held in a trust. During the heyday of Jeffs, they were building like crazy, and it all stopped when he got arrested. Many houses still sit there today, rotting away as husks of framed out, partially constructed homes that were never finished. The town used to be extremely creepy and downright scary to outsiders. When my Sills family went down to visit them after they purchased one of the trust homes, they were followed throughout town by cars and watched like a hawk. The people would run inside and slam their gates and scream at them to get out. Nowadays the population is much younger and made up of a lot of previous lost boys or families that have drifted away from the hardcore polygamy/FLDS ideals. It's getting more like a typical rural, albeit sheltered town, and less like the Hills Have Eyes. Still creepy, but lots of normal families that all share the same for last names. Powers, Oregon. Stopped in the diner for coffee once on a drive-through. I shit you not, like straight out of a movie, the other patrons just turned and quietly stared, not touching their own plates, until we left. Some friends and I experienced the same kind of thing in a bar/bowling alley in Wisconsin. We decided to go out for bowling, and when we walked into the bar in the front, it was like it went from bustling to very hushed and everyone was watching us. The bowling alley in the back was totally deserted and eerie. It was super awkward to be the only people playing, and I swear anytime we glanced behind us towards the bar we'd catch everyone staring. We all agreed it was one of the creepiest experiences we've had. Man, this was years ago, but it was around 1998 or 1999, when I was 9. My family drove us to Mount Rushmore from Denver. We stopped off the highway in a random Wyoming town with a population of just over 100. We had a choice between 2 restaurants and entered one. Straight from a horror movie. When we walked in, the entire restaurant, packed with most of the town, fell silent. We ate and everyone was staring at us. My sister and I believed they were going to murder us. We left, and it turns out our parents also thought we were going to be murdered. Making the most fucked up road trip map ever. RNBRB. Seabrook, WA. It is idyllic. Perfectly idyllic. Too much so. Strong Stepford Wives vibes. I read somewhere that it was inspired by the town in The Truman Show. Clearwater, Florida. I had known it was the HQ for Scientology, but had never been there. Last month, I was visiting family in Florida, and my best friend lives a few towns over from Clearwater. He took me to a place that entailed driving through downtown Clearwater. It is impossible not to notice that every building had brand new paint, all the shops looked sparkling clean, and there was not a soul to be seen. All the neighboring towns had hundreds of people milling about, but Clearwater looked like a ghost town. It looked like the set of a Twilight Zone episode. I live near Clearwater and went there to go to the library. It has a huge section of kids' books in other languages. I got hassled by Scientologists as soon as I got out of the car. I guess I parked in front of one of their buildings, and 'cause I had my phone up trying to figure out the direction I needed to walk to get to the library, they thought I was filming and followed me all the way to the library. Moscow, Idaho has an actual cult with thousands of followers. Their leader, a self-ordained pastor, has publicly stated he wants to take over the town and turn it into a theocracy. They are deeply misogynist, marital rape isn't possible, and have a history of sexual abuse within their group. The leader defended a student of their college who raped his host family's daughter, excommunicated the daughter, and then presided over the rapist's wedding. Their members keep running for local office and failing, but they are buying up all the property in town and moving in people from all over the country to attend their private school, theology, college, and church. Moscow also happens to be the town where the 4 University of Idaho students were murdered in 2022. Colorado City, Arizona. Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints stronghold. Lots of inbreeding. Collinsville, OK has a diner named Karen's Country Corner, formerly Country Corner, where the local chapter meets or used to meet every week. Used to have racist signs on the edge of town. One of the most racist places I've ever had the misfortune of finding myself. Cairo, Illinois is creepy AF. At one time it was a very important commercial center because of its river location. Now it's practically deserted and has really creepy energy. You can still see glimpses of how it might have been bustling, edited to fix typo, and charming back in the day. Moscow, ID, home of the University of Idaho. 1/3 college students, 1/3 hippies, 1/3 Christ Church cult. The recent college knife murders don't help the vibes either. Centralia, Pennsylvania is still on fire, though they ruined the graffiti highway. I don't know if anybody still lives there today. When I went last there were a handful of hangers-on. Gold Bar, WA. Beautiful view of the Cascade Mountains. Meth and white supremacists everywhere. Mora, New Mexico is pretty damn scary to outsiders. Lots of rural mountain towns that are isolated from tourists can be strange. I've spent a lot of time in WV and Arkansas, but rural NM is probably the most hostile place to outsiders I have been.